Hey everyone, this is Leanne from Of Love and Shiplap and the founder of Sub That Tutorials and More. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on any new videos, and check the video description for a link to the Sub That mobile learning library app. Inside of our app, you can access all of our tutorials quickly and easily in our neatly organized content libraries, as well as subscribe for access to exclusive content and communities. In this tutorial, I am going to be showing you how to sublimate PU leather or faux leather coasters that we received as part of the Sublimation trend box for winter 2024 from Johnson's Plastics Plus. Now, I love a good coaster. I have all wood furniture in my house, and just in general, coasters are so great to preserve any type of finished wood. Even the particle board type furniture, coasters can go a long way into just preserving them. I think that they are an underappreciated home decor item, but they are something that sells with great popularity. There's a lot of potential ways which you can market this kind of product, whether it's doing photos or something commemorative. And there is a little bit of wholesale potential for this item, or at least a bulk sale option. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things around, show you the coasters so you can have a good look, and we'll talk more about how to print, press, and profit with this particular item. So our PU leather coaster is white on one side. You can see it's just got some stitching. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then it's got like a cardboard bottom that is covered with another faux leather. So we're gonna go ahead and get our measurements so we know what size to make our design. And we are looking at we are looking at 3 15/16. So since this is square, I'm just gonna only measure one side. And we're gonna add a little bit, so we're actually rounded up to like 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and hop over to Affinity Designer and get our design set up. It is going to be quick and easy for us to set up our design for the leather coasters. We want to start by opening up a new document to the size of the page that we plan to print on, as well as set in the orientation that that page is going to feed into our printer. These two steps just help alleviate so many common errors that people have with printing and getting accurate sizing in the process. Because our coasters are 4 inches by 4 inches, we can use a letter size piece of paper. Start by coming to File, New, and selecting the option for a letter size page. Now there is a preset that already is letter size in here, but you can manually add it as well. I am using version 2 of Affinity Designer, so the document setup does look a little bit different than version 1, but all of the same options are there. My printer feeds the letter size pages in Portrait, so I'm going to make sure to select that as well. Next, you want to come down to your layout. Ensure that your DPI is set to 300. You do not want to create an artboard, so that should not be selected. Underneath the color tab, for sublimation printing, our color format should be set to RGB/8 with our color profile sRGB IEC 61966-2.1. Always remember that these settings right here are universal, and your color profile is not your ICC profile that you use when you set your print to print. That is something that you set in your printer settings, not in your document setup. I have several videos that cover this. Be sure to check them out if you have questions about all of these terms and what they all mean and how they relate to each other. When you have everything set, you can then click Create. Now, anytime I am doing something that is full bleed, I like to start by creating a shape that matches the shape of that or the coverage of that and the size that I'm going for. Then I can choose to import any type of design or digital paper or whatever it is that I'm planning to print, and I have a frame of reference for how it is lining up. To me, this is a much better option than just importing something like a digital paper and sizing it and printing it, simply because the size or the layout might not be exactly what you want. Sometimes we want to crop certain parts of the design away. We want the main part to be bigger. Whatever it is that is the aesthetic you're going for, you're going to get the best representation by creating that shape first in the size that you're working with and then clipping in your design. So with that in mind, I am going to come to the rectangle tool, and you can just click and drag once you select that on your workspace to increase or to set the size. Next, we'll come to our transform panel located in the bottom right corner, and we are going to manually set the measurements based on what we measured. You want to make sure that your aspect ratio is not locked. You'll notice that your link looks broken or it doesn't have the little arms hanging off of it. That indicate that it's locked. So currently it's unlocked. That's what it looks like when it's locked. Back to unlocked. I'm going to do 4.25. That way we have a little bit of a bleed edge on both sides. So we've got 4.25 for both of these. At this point, you can choose to lock that aspect ratio just for your own reference. Now, our layer here does have a fill by default. We're going to be adding our own. I'm just going to use a digital paper today. For this, I'm going to select my Place Image tool, which is this little picture icon over here in your Tools panel. You can also come to File and then select Place. Your File Explorer will open. You can choose whatever design, digital paper, anything that you would like to print on your coaster. For today, I'm just going to be using these floral watercolor digital papers. They are linked in the video description. They're from Creative Fabrica, and I snagged them with my Creative Fabrica design membership. When you see the downward arrow with the little portal, you're ready to click and drag to import your graphic. Now, I always like to click and drag it so it fully covers that shape to start with. Next, we're going to come to our Layers panel. Keep in mind that my studio is set up for my workflow. Your Layers panel, if you have not modified your studio, is going to be over here in the right sidebar by default. If for some reason you can't find it, if you're using Affinity Designer 2.0, come to that window tab and you'll see all your studio panels. If you're using 1.0, that studio section is underneath the View tab. So in here it will say Studio and you can find those same panels. So in your Layers panel, I want to select the design or the pattern, whatever it is that I imported, and I'm going to click and drag so that my cursor is touching the word or the name of that layer. So in this case, it's rectangle. See how my cursor is touching it, and then release. Now when I open up that dropdown, I can see that my digital paper is inside of there, and when I have that selected, I can move it around and adjust it to my liking. So I'm actually just going to shrink this down because I don't want to lose the flowers completely. But I do want the flowers to fill most of the space. Like I want them to really be the focal point for this. Okay. Once you are satisfied with the size and the visibility, we can go ahead and duplicate this because I am going to be doing 2 of these. So I'm going to zoom out for a second and I will right click on that entire group and select duplicate. Again, make sure you are on the whole group, not the layer that's clipped inside. And then I can just click and drag that on my page. Now I am neurotic. I like things to be centered. So I'm going to click and drag across my whole canvas to highlight both of those. Use that center option and then drag it across until I see the red and green axis lines. That lets me know that this is smack dab in the middle of my page. Those red and green lines are your guidelines, or your snapping guides, sorry, and you can access them by making sure this little magnet icon is selected. When you click the drop down next to it, you'll see a variety of options. I keep them all checked except for show snapping candidates, because when you have that one selected, it highlights everything on your page, which can be a little bit annoying. Now that we have this set up and ready to print, we can send it off to our printer. Come to File, Print, You will then select your printer from the drop-down menu. In this case, I'm using my Epson SureColor F570 Pro Sublimation printer from Johnson's Plastics Plus. I am then going to select Properties. Now, your Properties panel will look a little bit different, but this is where we can adjust anything that needs to be adjusted. If you have a converted sublimation printer, be sure to check out some of our older videos from the first couple of years of that where I had the color correction settings for my own. You want to make sure to save those settings so you can just quickly grab them and send off to print. That is what I had done before. But the document setup properties panel, the printer properties panel does look a little bit different depending on your printer, and also different between Mac and Windows computers. For the Epson SureColor F570 Pro, the only thing that I need to do is adjust my paper settings. So where it says source, I'm going to choose auto sheet feeder, and we are doing faux leather, so we'll set this to the textile setting. By default, this is set to mirror. You always want to make sure that yours is as well. I don't need a print preview, so I'm going to deselect that, and then I'll click OK and OK again, and this will send this off to print. It was that easy. Remember that if you have an ICC profile or any special settings that you use for printing with your converted sublimation printer, all of those are adjusted in the color management section of this Properties tab after you select your printer. Again, that's just for people who are not using a sublimation ready sublimation printer, such as the new Brother model, the Epson SureColor series, or Sawgrass printers. Let's go ahead and send that off to print. I have already trimmed our design, so we're ready to attach our faux leather coasters and go ahead and get this sublimated. Now, because this is a full bleed design that's got an edge that's going to be off of the product itself, we want to make sure to put some blowout paper underneath. For something small, I always just like to fold this in half. That way I can easily fold it over, so I have my blowout paper on top and bottom. These pre-cut sheets are 15 by 20. I get them from Uline in a big box. Fantastic value. So convenient that they're already in the sheet format. So we're going to go ahead and just get these centered. I think I need to adjust my light so I don't have such a shadow. Sorry, I took your guys' light away. Rotate some. It's a little hard working around the camera and the light, but once we have it centered to our liking, oops, I just moved it. Once we have it centered to our liking, we can go ahead and secure it with some heat tape. I only have this skinny tape at the moment, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but we're gonna make it work. You don't need a lot, just 1, 2, maybe 3. I always like, when I have something that has a little height to it, I always like to rub it against the edge and really press it down there, just to help it secure a little bit better. All right, let's get our other guy together. Same thing, we're gonna line it up, make sure it's nice and centered. Make sure we are satisfied. It's a little hard to tell because that top part of that design is so soft. Now we have our heat press set to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. We're gonna use like a medium, wanting to be a little firmer pressure. And we're going with that option because these can be done with firm pressure, but we don't want to end up warping that hardboard bottom that's in there, because it's probably cardboard, and too much pressure can actually cause that to warp. So once we have ourselves secured, we're going to flip that over, cover with our blow up paper, get it centered on our platen so we have nice even pressure, slide it on back, And let Blue the Fusion IQ do his job. So again, we are doing 400 degrees Fahrenheit with medium airing on the side of firm pressure. I've got a 6 out of a 9 on my Blue the Fusion IQ. And we are doing 60 seconds. Now these can be a little warm when they're done, so you may want your heat gloves. I'm gonna put mine on just in case. Some items are not super hot when they come off the press just because they dissipate the heat faster, but I do notice that with faux leather, it stays hot for a good 30-40 seconds. We are counting down here. We have just 10 more seconds. And I will go ahead and rotate you guys down for when we open this. And for the reveal, woo, hot. All right. And there you have it. There are our faux leather coasters. Again, these were part of the Sublimation trend box from Johnson's Plastics Plus. Be sure to sign up for that quarterly subscription box if you haven't already. It's such a great opportunity to try out different products that are on the market and see if they are right for your business. Check out our full product marketing guide on this item and more. And be sure to download the That mobile learning library app if you have not already. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great rest of your day.